Hi there, my name is Mihai. I'm part of the development team here at QiTASC, and today we are going to learn about data test cases. Whenever we want to start a new test case, we have to create a new feature file. So I'll do this right away. And we want to automate download on the phone. So I'll name it download. Okay, and the scenario that we're going to look into today is to download data over data connection. Good. The first step here is to acquire a phone on which we will want to test the download capability. So I'll just go ahead and type given and phone. Yeah, it will auto-complete me what I need. Given an Android phone as A. Okay. Very important, we have to have a phone attached to our computer. Developer options have to be enabled on the phone in order for this to work. We see that our intaQt application is already running on the phone, and the status is online. This means that intaQt detected the phone and the two services communicate with each other. So if I'm running this test now, it should be green, so it means intaQt could acquire the phone. Okay. Next step here, because we want to test the data connection, is to just enable data connections on the phone. So I'll go ahead and type, it's still in the prerequisites, type and enable data connections. Data connection. Yes, here. So we need a timeout for this because intaQt will wait for some seconds. I'll just say within 10 seconds, A, which is our phone, enables data connection. So in some cases, for example, if the phone doesn't have a SIM card or for some reason it cannot enable the data connections within 10 seconds, then our test will fail. However, now, if we leave this step like this, at the end of our test case, the data connections will remain active, so we might want to do some cleanup. Therefore, we have the deferred steps, which are right here, before our enable data connection step and deferred disable data connections. Okay. Again, we have a timeout here. I'll just put 10 seconds, A. So, deferred within 10 seconds, A disables data connections. What those deferred steps do, they will not execute when the test runs, so when the main part of the test runs, but will be scheduled to execute after the test ends and do whatever cleanup we need. So in our case, after the test ends, we want to make sure that we disable data connections, whatever the status of the test is. So even if the test fails, those steps will be run one after another and we'll do the cleanup that we need. Next step here is our execution. So I'll write a comment here to know that it's about execution. Okay. And we want to download something. I'll just write when download. Yes, we have our steps here. You see, auto-completion is pretty helpful. I can search through the list of the available steps that I have and just select the one I need. In this case, I don't need the deferred, but it just starts download from us. So when A starts a download from, what I need to put here is an URL from where to download our data. It can be whatever, like http google.com, which will just download the HTML page there. But for this purpose, we have a dedicated service that provides us, we can specify exactly how much data we want to download from there. And in this case, it's test data.qv.qitask.com and the path for it is data And exactly under this path, we can specify how much data we need. Let's specify 100 megabytes. And we need to identify this download session later, so I'll just give it the name download in this case. Okay, so we have the step when A starts a download from this service, and we see here we want to download 100 megabyte, and we identify this download session as download. We now have a bunch of step details and constraints that we can specify. We mark this with the star, and when I trigger auto completion, you see what I can use here. So I will not specify how many reconnects we need. I will just say it stops after, and I can say a time limit or an amount, a size limit, how much data I want to download. I would just say after 2 seconds, okay? 2 seconds. Great. And after the execution steps, of course, I want to do some verification. And I will expect the download to finish at some point. So I'll say then expect download. That's what I need. Within 5 seconds. So it's my phone, expects the download, which I identified with this download identifier, to finish. Okay, within 5 seconds, I expect my download to finish. The reason why I need to put here this identifier is that I can start multiple download sessions. So this step, this execution step here, this doesn't block. It starts the download, and this runs in background, and our execution continues. So what I can do is start another download or do something in between, and then in the end I have to wait here with a timeout, of course, because if the download doesn't finish or something in between happens, I need a way to stop it and not wait indefinitely. Okay, now let's run our test and see what happens. So it acquired the phone, now it enabled the data connection. You saw that this step starts download. It took very fast, so it didn't block. It started the download, and then it expected the download to finish within 5 seconds, which it did. And in the end, of course, the deferred steps where the data connection got disabled. Okay, so our phone remains in a clean state, and we know what to expect for our next steps. The interesting part here is the report that gets generated in the end. I'll show you very fast. Under QiTASC, in the intaQt server installation directory, under reports, just take the last report that got generated, so the download. You see here a graph that's generated after the test case. So this is a plot that shows us the speed. In this case, it's in bytes per second, depending on the time. So we can analyze how fast the download was. In our case, it's just for 2 seconds, so we can't analyze that much. But if you observe it over longer periods of time, and if you want to test some limits on the SIM card, for example, if you have only 50 megabytes of download available with 4G speed, and you need to see that after this 50 megabytes the speed drops to 3G, you can observe this behavior in this graph. Of course, this can also be automated with the steps, but it's a more advanced topic for now. We'll just show a simple check that we can make, because in the download we have some data that's persisted, and it's available for us to check some details about the download session. So in our case, we have to verify that download, it's under the result object. It stores here some bunch of information that's very useful for the verification step. It's all documented in the manual, so please check that out if you need some special information what to test. So in my case is the summary. It's the number of bytes. I want to see that I at least downloaded let's say 1024, so that I at least downloaded 1 kilobyte. Okay, so let's run this again and see that it behaves as I expected. So yes, in this case it's more than 1 kilobyte, but let's say we want to put more pressure on it and say, okay, I want it to download 10 megabytes. Okay, so I'll just write here the multiplication for that. This means just 10 megabyte in the size of bytes. And when I run it, maybe it can't make 10 megabytes. Let's see. And if it can't make 10 megabytes, no, it did more than that. Whoa, 2 seconds. Let's increase this a bit to 50. Okay, and in this case, yes, in 2 seconds to download 50 megabytes, that's a bit too much. So as expected, our verification step fails. Now that we've seen how a download scenario works, let's go ahead and try the upload as well. I'll create a new feature file for that, name it upload, and we want to test uploading data over data connection. Great. Now this is very similar to what we have here, so I'll copy our content for now and we'll adapt it step by step. We need the first step for sure. We need an Android phone for this to work. The enabling and disabling of the data connection, of course, has to be here, because we need to make sure before we start the upload that we have the data connection. This is what we want to test. What needs to be changed here is the execution. Okay, we won't use the download step, but we will use the upload step. And this is called upload random data. Starts uploading random data. Starts uploading. Now we don't need the timeout, which we will just use a starts uploading random data. Of course, here we need again an URL where to upload, and we need a name for the upload session. Okay, I'll just call it upload in our case. So A starts uploading random data to, and here you can specify a URL to where to upload the data. In our case, our dedicated service, so it's similar to here, also covers this scenario. So I'll copy the link, and instead of data, we have the upload path that you can use for your test. So this just eats up whatever you give it to it, and it ignores it. As you see, it's just an upload of random data. Cool. For this step, again, we support multiple details. So autocompletion says us again we can use reconnects, and we can stop after some amount of time or of the bytes that we uploaded. So I'll go ahead and stop it after 1 megabyte. Okay, so it will upload 1 megabyte to this server, and it will end. And for the verification steps, it's also similar, but we don't expect the download to finish, but the upload, and this is identified by the upload identifier. Okay, and now that we said okay, it stops after 1 megabyte, we can check that the upload time didn't take more than I don't know, 3 seconds. Duration seconds. Okay, so I want to check here that my upload duration is shorter than 3 seconds, or let's make it 4. Okay, we don't know what the data speed on the SIM card is. Let's run it, see how it works. It started the upload, and now it waits for it to finish. Okay, seems like it's too much, so it didn't finish within 5 seconds. Let's go a bit lower with our upload size, like upload only 100 kilobytes. Okay, and check what happens now. Okay, now it finished. It seems like this 1 MB was too much to finish within 5 seconds. So 100 kilobytes, it could easily manage it. And also our duration was shorter than 4 seconds. If we, for example, expect it to finish immediately, like less than 1 second, I think this might fail. Let's see. No, it's still okay. I think 100 kilobytes is too few, but you get the idea. So yes, we've seen now how to do some download and upload test cases. Those are the basic scenarios that we can use to test SIM card data connections. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your attention.